Morula Media to Minister of State Security. The question is, what was the nature of the intelligence report foreseeing the anarchy? Did such exist, and if so, why were they not sufficiently acted upon, or were the intelligence structures blindsided and surprised? The second question is from Christian Duplessis of Network 24. Is the state at this moment considering announcing a state of emergency to contain the anarchy? Guess this is to the Minister of Defense. From Babalo of Eyewitness News, are law enforcement agencies planning on acting against any alleged instigators of the unrest in KZN and Gauteng? There are two questions from Sophie Mukwena of the SABC. The first one is, how are we going to ensure that the communities protect their property, as they protect their properties, this does not lead to communities taking the law into their own hands, and that it doesn't lead to racial and class conflict? Secondly, to Minister of Defense, this week, South African National Defense Force is also expected to send troops to Mozambique. Has Mozambique finally signed the State of Force Agreement, and when are the troops expected to go to Mozambique? Thank you. I'll start with you, Minister of State Security.
Thank you very much, Minister Ntshavheni. And I'll respond to the question that was asked on whether or not state security was alive in action, the support it gave, and whether that information was heeded to. From inception, when even before the violence actually flared up, between the South African Police Services and state security, we were sharing information. And we do this all the time, not only in this period that we are facing. From day one, when everything started, regardless of the fact that even before that we always do share information, we did share information with the police. And I think South Africans need to understand that only so much can be done with the information that is at hand. Some of the information tends to be false. Some of the information is accurate and true, and we use various sources of collecting information, and we also use our own systems for analyzing the information to package it for our client, which in this regard would have been the police. The police would have done their best as well to follow up on information that is given to them. They also have their own crime intelligence capability, but we all work together under the auspices of our Counterintelligence Coordinating Forum, including the auspices of the National Intelligence Coordinating Committee, whose key task is only to put a strategic product on the table, emanating from information that would have been collected from the three intelligence services, as it were, the Defense Force, Crime Intelligence, and SSA. We are responsible for all of that, and that information that we received, the information that we analyzed and packaged, was handed over to the police. But as you would have noticed, the target was very fast moving. We tried our best wherever we could, and we averted a lot more than what you see on national television because of the proactive stance that was taken by both intelligence services of the three ministries, but also the work that was done by the police in averting greater crime that could have occurred in that time. So I want South Africans to be rest assured that we did avert a lot. What you see is only a part of what could have happened. So we were not missing in action as SSA, and I dare say even the police were not missing in action. We tried our level best under a very difficult situation. And I would like to commend the two departments because it is the young men and women and those that command them in these structures that really put the shoulder to the wheel to ensure that that information is available and the other law enforcement agencies come into effect what it is that has been given to them. Thank you very much.
Yes, the replacement.
We'll have the Minister of Defense joining us virtually, taking the responses to the questions that are related to the defense.
Thank you very much, Minister Nchabeni, and thank you, ministers. And thank you to the ladies and gentlemen of the media for the questions. The first question from the media is whether there will be a state of emergency declared in South Africa. Well, for now, I don't think there is an indication that there should be a state of emergency. Besides, when the time comes, informed by intelligence gathered and coordinated by the three entities, then the president will usually is advised, and then the president will then declare a state of emergency if a need arises based on that assessment report. For now, yes, the situation looks like it has gone out of hand. Yes, people are in a state of panic. We are all concerned about what is happening, but whether in fact it would be correct for now to declare a state of emergency, we do not think so. As you know, that a state of emergency actually, in a sense, you take all the liberties from citizens and the military takes over the country. For now, we do not think we have reached that point. Thank you very much. On the second one, which relates to Mozambique deployment, yes, tomorrow will be the 13th or 15th, yes, and that will be the D-Day, and that is the day in which it is expected that the Rapid Deployment Force of the region deploys into Mozambique as the directive of the heads of state. However, right up until last night, the status of forces agreement had not been signed. And I think I need to correct something here, Sophie. If the state of forces agreement has not been signed by Mozambique, it really has nothing to do with the perceived tensions which may be there between ourselves and Mozambique, as reported by yourselves in the media. This is a regional deployment. It is not a South African deployment. It's a regional deployment. This is a decision taken by the heads of state of the region of SADC, and therefore the signing that legal document, which is a legal requirement before deployment to another country, that legal document, if it is not signed, it actually prevents the entire region from deployment, and therefore has nothing to do with the perceived tensions between South Africa and Mozambique, if any at all. Thank you very much, colleagues. I hand over to you, Minister Nchabeni.
Thank you very much. It would be on to question the arrest of the agitators. Yes, who will arrest agitators? The number of the people that has been arrested up to this point was mentioned. There are 304 in KZN and 453 in Gauteng. As was cited here, 30 more have been arrested in Gauteng. But around those people will have to get the agitators is exactly what the law enforcement agencies are doing, to sift those that would have been just taken by the mob spirit to go there, who are there, and those who are planners and agitators on these matters. For instance, you have people that call themselves presidents, they call themselves addressing the nation. I've never seen a president that has not been elected who goes around addressing the nations in the hostels. And that person will have to really explain himself or herself as he moves around agitating people. And we are not going to allow to be a person unelected as he is, not a member of any leading structure and all that, going around addressing the nation. And addressing the nation insults the leadership of the nation that is elected, calling the people on violence, to commit violence. And those are agitators, some of them well known, some of them being identified. And I'm very sure when we sit down, as the president has instructed, that it should not just be an arrest, but it must proceed with the whole chain, go to prosecution. I'm very sure that as the prosecutors take over, as we're working with them, they will find those that have committed crime more than others. So that is taken care of. The second question is a racial question, which is a very serious question and a sensitive question. That one goes with a class question. That's why we are calling on communities where they are not to take the law in their hands, but we're also calling them to be active, working together with the law enforcement agencies. For instance, the police have got the communities in blue, there are CPF, all those recognized structures working with the community. With the community, they are allowed. Communities, there is nothing wrong. They are invited, but their contribution, working in protection of their property and life, please do that together with the law enforcement agencies. Don't go beyond and create the parallel structures yourself, working outside the recognized structures. And it must be avoided at all costs that this becomes a racial kind of war. There are incidents that are really worrying, especially around Durban communities. That will be your Phoenix and your Nanda, Pambai, around there. We are calling on those communities to come together themselves to fight any form of criminality, working with the law-abiding citizens and the police against. Not against the faces, not against the group of people, but against the criminality that will be prevailing there. And again, people must not begin to say they're fighting those that are having haves and have-nots, as is beginning to emerge in some other townships. Come together, fight against criminality in whatever form that is there, so long you work with the police, so long you work with other recognized and legal structures. So it's a call we're making. Refuse and resist to put this on a racial perspective. Resist to be used against other kind and other category of people. That's a call we'll make. Thank you.